People who work in an office at unemployment insurance and CNSST in Quebec or Canada don't know how the world works. So let me explain what's happening to me right now. I am a class 1 driver, okay? So on the 25th of August 2025, I was on a commercial moving. We were a big team moving l'école Calixa-La-Vallée, the high school Calixa-La-Vallée in Montreal North. We were finished the moving and we were taking out the moving equipment from the gym. So dollies, moving pads and everything you need for a commercial moving. So to help, so when you're on a moving like this and the guys got to load the equipment, people have to push. I think it's 20 or 25 dollies that they push on the ramp, right? And that's very hard. Like you need guys at the bottom to help the guy push, or else everything is gonna fall down. So you put a guy on the right, a guy on the left at the bottom, and there's one guy on the ramp who pushes the dollies up the ramp. Okay, so I was down helping to push the guy while he was pushing the dollies up the ramp. And one dolly, I think it was a bunch of dollies that fell, but one dolly fell and it was the corner of the dolly. So, okay, let me show you. Wait a minute. So let's say this is a dolly, okay? Now the corner of the dolly fell on my head like this. And it could have broke my neck. I was lucky. Maybe I have a strong neck because I was a mover all my life, okay? Anyway, like I felt the dent. And of course it was bleeding. And I still feel a dent in my head, I don't know how to read a scan, but I'll explain that later. So, we were a bunch of people outside. So all our team, I think it was like, I don't know, 40 people or something like that, including the staff of the high school that saw the stuff fall on my head, okay? And the supervisor said, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" I said, yeah, I'm okay. Because this is the part that people don't understand. I was forced to move from an apartment that I was paying $1,400 a month, and I was forced to move from there because they were selling the building. So now I was in an apartment that was costing me $2,500 a month, and I had no choice to move. I would not have chosen an apartment at $2,500 a month, but that's the price around here. And I can't go live too far away from my job, right? I have to live close, or else in Quebec, there around here, it's not easy to get to work if you live too far, like there's l'autoroute 15, there's l'autoroute 40, and that's about it. So when the dollies fell on my head, what I was thinking is, what the hell am I gonna do now? I can't stop working. If I have a problem, I can't stop working. Okay? Anyway, this was the end of the day. So I went home. While driving home, I noticed that I had vision problems. Like I saw a sign, like it appeared like it was 3 signs, right? And stuff like that. Like I can't make a video too long about my vision problems. I'm supposed to talk about this with a doctor. But anyway, what I was thinking now is I have to work to pay my rent. I have no choice. I can't stop working. So in my head I said, if I go see a doctor and I tell him that I have vision problems, right? Well, he's, I don't know how you call that. By law, I think he has to send a letter to the driver's license office. And I would have lost my license, because if you think that this is not true, one time on the job, I was in the warehouse, right? And I said to a guy, "Can you put that label bigger, because I can't read it, your label is too small." And a week later, I received a letter from the driver's license department that I need to go pass a test for my eyes for glasses. So do you understand what happened here? The guy ratted me out, okay? So I had this in my head already. So if I go see a doctor and I tell him I have a vision problem, I'm going to lose my class 1. And it took me 30 years to get a class 1 because that's complicated, okay? You have to have under 3 points. And I always had more than 3 points on my license and stuff like that. So it took me 30 years to get a class 1. Now, if I tell my boss, and the next day I have a vision problems, he's going to kick me out. Like he hired me as a class 1, right? So if he doesn't kick me out and I get an accident, he's going to be in serious trouble. He's probably going to lose his company, okay? So since I had a vision problems and I don't want to go blind, like I don't know anything about medicine, I don't know anything about brain damage. So if I'm having vision problem, I said this going to escalate and then maybe I'm going to go blind. So the accident happened on the 25th of August. I kept working, okay, the next day. But on the 27th, I said, oof, I'm going to go see a doctor. When I arrived at the hospital, I said, this is accident travail. It happened while working. So the hospital is supposed to fill out paperwork for that, but they didn't. And my case was so bad that the nurse said, you waited two days for that? You could have died, okay? That's how bad it was. And you think you can go in an hospital in an emergency and pass a scan in 5 minutes? No, they passed me a scan immediately. So do you think it was bad or not bad? Do you think I'm lying or not lying? Okay. But anyway, that doesn't change anything because I got to keep working because I have to pay my rent, right? So I kept on working. And the last day I worked, like, oof, like I said, this is starting to be dangerous here. Like I see and I made a few moves that I judged that I was not a safe driver anymore, okay? But I can't talk. I can't tell my boss. I can't tell a doctor. I can't tell anybody. So I did not know what to do. So I was in my apartment like for 2 weeks, not knowing what to do. No paycheck, no nothing. And I couldn't, I didn't quit. I just walked in where the dispatcher is. And I said, this is not working. Bye. Because I didn't want nobody at work to know that. To ask questions, they would say, what's wrong? Oh, I have a vision problem. Okay, bye-bye. You understand? So I just walked in the dispatch real fast and I said, hey, this is not working out. Bye. So the staff were all confused. They said, well, what's going on, So since the 15th of September, I have no income. Now, after a while, I said, what's my options here? I have to sacrifice my license. I have to tell, right? Because I'm going to be in the street. I have no choice. I have to lose my license. So I went to see a doctor. But now the problem is nobody wants to pay me because no doctor told me to stop working. I'm the one who decided to stop working. And now they're saying, yes, I went to see the doctor like 2 months after, okay? Because that's the time it took me to solve everything in my head and what am I going to do and this and that. I think it was, I don't know if it was 2 months, 25, maybe a month later. 25 of October, yeah, something like that. Okay, so now they say that I don't have a medical paper and the doctor he can't backdate something. I mean, he tried. I mean, the doctor tried. He said, Michel, stop working X September, meaning we don't know the exact date because I was losing my memory there a bit. But that paper is not accepted. But my argument is, I do have a paper. I have a scan that shows that I have a trauma crânien, that means concussion or something like that. And like, I don't know how to read a scan, but I do feel a friggin' like my head was dented or something like that, okay? So I have this scan that shows that I had an injury, and I don't need no doctor to tell me that it's not safe to drive. But these people at the CNSST and unemployment, they think it's okay to continue driving, that I need a doctor to tell me that. I made the decision to stop working for the security of people. And now I even have to sacrifice my driver's license, my class 1. Now, like, I didn't have high-paying jobs in my life. I was always in either a mover or driving a cab or stuff like that. So the class 1 is the top salary I can go with the education I have and everything like that. I can't go higher than that unless I go like up north Quebec work in a mine or something, but I can't do that anymore anyway because now I have vision problems and they won't accept me. Okay? So this is a situation with me right now. I can't get no income. I can't, and it's not just the problem of the income. Okay? It's the problem of the way the people treat me. When I say that, when I tell them what happened, it's like, hey, you're a liar, you're full of shit, or stuff like that. That's what pisses me off. Like, I have a video on YouTube proving that I had a tennis elbow, and I still have super pain in my arm. And I was working on a class 3 53-foot trailer, and I had huge pipes to take out of the truck, you know, like sprinkler pipes and things like that. And I couldn't do it with my right arm, and I didn't even stop working there. I started to take out the pipes with my left hand, and I can't even do that because the way when you back up a truck, right, at a dock, you have a cement wall there. Okay, so if I go like that with my right arm and I take out the pipe, it's okay. But how can I go? I can't put myself in the cement wall there. So I can't pull with my left. I have to push it from inside the truck, and that's almost impossible. But I did it anyway. I didn't stop working. So what the hell is going on here? Is there a lawyer? Like, is there a lawyer that can take my case or something? You know, like, I have the scan paper. There's no problem there. I can't show it right now because people are going to take my information. So that's it.